Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
And you got Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are here to do a late review.
Yes, indeed.
We have just got done watching a couple of different things, but the first thing we're going to review is the first episode of the Syfy Channel's Chucky TV series.
Syfy and USA, actually.
Yes, Syfy and USA.
Simultaneous
Indeed.
craziness.
So Fuego and I are all up to date on the series. Robert is not all up to date on the series, so you're going to have a couple of different perspectives here, but I'll start with my overall thoughts and say that I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good starting point. It started small. It didn't dive into very much from the stuff left over from Cult of Chucky, and I think they're just getting a slow start, and I think that's fine. It allows us time to get to know these characters before you have to throw in all the stuff that Mancini has floating around from the series. This particular series is focusing on a particular nuanced character, and you may be on board with it, you may not, but I had absolutely no problem with it. I was enjoying it for what it was because it's more Brad Dourif Chucky, and so overall I enjoyed this pilot episode. Robert, what about you?
No, I definitely enjoyed it too. I guess maybe there was just some scenes, like especially with some characters, I'm just like, I'm a little too gung ho. I'm like, alright, you just need to die already. So
Same.
I was a little disappointed. That was a little disappointment, but
They'll get to it.
Exactly, they will, and I know they will. So that's why I'm gonna keep watching. But no, this is definitely a good little opening pilot and everything for the going forward story. I'm hoping at least they flesh it out, maybe at least 2, maybe 3 seasons. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. It's an 8-episode first season, and we'll see after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes and everything. But no, so far, especially with the ending dynamic, like kind of him with the kid and stuff like that, it was interesting. But like I even said to these guys when we were watching, I'm like, I don't care what age you are, from preschool, whatever. It's never acceptable to bring a doll to school. You're always going to be made fun of. You're just asking to be made fun of.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, it's like in there were some scenes like you definitely felt for the kid, especially some things that were going on with his father and some past stuff they were bringing up with loss of his mother. It was definitely nice, and it was a good opening.
Yeah,
So.
and that was where they hooked me, dude. Was the fact that I definitely feel for this kid. It's very much a Mancini representation. Him as a person in a lot of ways, from what I'm led to understand about him as a queer man in that regard, and just trying to like figure things out, And this is the most Mancini representing himself since Seed, in my estimation. And like the lead actor, the kid is very good, and some of his just trying to like feel his way into everything, figure it all out. Biggest thing that I guess, as far as if I'm gonna be that negative person, was that it was a little tamer than I was anticipating. I thought there was gonna be a little bit more of the bloodshed, but then again, it's
first episode.
But that's the thing. You think that like a lot of big time horror franchises, within the first like 10-15 minutes they will have an iconic kill, and we didn't really have something like that in this, and that's not super spoilery or anything anybody, but yeah, I thought Dourif was great voicing when we got him, and the world building especially is where I'm very intrigued by where they're going to go with this and how they're going to flesh out all of the cult and the curse backstory and stuff like that. So that's not a slight on it, dude. I just thought that we were going to have like an iconic kill, and we didn't get one. And so, yeah, for that reason...
We got a kill.
A kill? Yeah,
We got
exactly.
a kill.
We got a kill. But, no, this laid awesome groundwork, and I'm excited. I am anticipating every place that this can go.
So the story is about a young man who, right off the bat at the very beginning of the show, finds a Chucky doll at a yard sale and takes it home and takes it to school, and weird stuff starts to happen around the Chucky doll, and you find out that this kid is dealing with his own woes. He is a supposedly at least gay kid. We don't know if he's gay or bisexual. He hasn't confirmed or denied anything at this point, but it seems that is his central plight, and the rest of his classmates know it, and one in particular tries to make use of that knowledge. But nonetheless, it's about this kid trying to deal with things in it's high school, right? It looks like high school.
Middle school.
Middle school? Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say a few different times.
Okay,
So,
so he is
Yeah.
school. So I mean, we're like
Well,
junior high,
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah,
You know, so.
they said he was 14 or something, so it'd be
Yeah.
junior high going into
Mhm.
freshman.
But yeah, so the doll comes into play, weird stuff starts to happen, and the kid has to deal with the aftermath of said weird happenings. I don't want to spoil too much because you guys can go and watch the show now. It's available on Syfy. It's also, if you have the YouTube TV app, that's where I went, or that's where we watched it. So you can watch it a couple of different ways. But overall, I thought the story was engaging enough to make me interested in the rest of the season.
No, absolutely. Honestly, I really don't have much to add much on the story. At least from that, it was a good little opening. Like I said earlier, I'm interested in seeing how the story is going to progress, especially on the ending note and whatnot, because it did show like a little flash on young Charles. So I'm really excited to see
Which
more.
we know
on,
they're going to explore
exactly,
significantly.
and that's what I want to see a lot more of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. No. I was into it, and that's where once again the groundwork that they were laying with this, I was especially intrigued by. Even if it didn't give me the aforementioned carnage candy, whatever, I was very interested in not just this new plight and how Chucky got there, and the fact that we know that we're gonna have Deanna Durup and we're gonna have Jennifer Tilly and all these other characters. They were shown in the trailers, and they're gonna show up. So
Well, we already got kind of a hint from that
Yeah.
phone call.
Alex
yeah,
Vincent
exactly,
already
which is
showed up.
Alex, I would imagine. Yeah, exactly. Andy, and
Oh.
Alex Vincent in that particular role. And so, best thing to do with the series, even if I didn't get the violence that I was expecting, they left me wanting more, dude. They legit left me wanting more, and very intrigued to see where they go with it. So,
Acting wise, I mean, it's a lot of middle school age
kind of
kids.
CW, a little bit.
Yeah, so it did feel a little bit like
tweeny.
that. A couple of characters were annoying just by virtue of how they were being written to be annoying and stuff, and they were successful in that. So I suppose that means they're successful as actors. So I
guess
can't
so.
begrudge them that. But yeah, overall, I didn't really have an issue with any of the acting, and specifically Devon Sawa in a surprising dual role.
He continues to surprise us, dude. Hunter, and I mean, he is, dare I say, seeing like a career renaissance as far as like genre acting, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, especially for like he's playing off himself, but he's not, because there's always that double same thing like what we did with the skits.
Yep.
Playing off of me, and then basically the same switch roles and everything.
Totally. No.
So it definitely worked out nice, and yeah, there wasn't really a weak actor that I saw coming out through here.
Just real quick, touching on the sound design and the music. What was fun
Very
is
Billie
to see
Eilish having-
yes. So the music in the show is very pop centric, heavy. Like, it is Billboard charted stuff. Billie Eilish had at least one, if not multiple songs, and other sort of pop artists. So that was fine, well and good, but the actual score behind the show was pretty good, and it was centralized around the Child's Play 2 score. So when we got to the title sequence, it was the Child's Play 2 dun 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 dun, and then there were times where there were reveals, and it used the stingers from all the way back to the original Child's Play, that ring, like someone going across an untuned harp, that sort of sound effect. So I really liked the sound design, and I really liked the musical choice, or the score choice, the music choice. I mean, I'm a big Billie Eilish fan, to be honest
No,
with
I know.
you. So
I know. You're the
I
one
like
who
that as
introduced
well.
me to her, man.
Yeah, I like that as well, but it got a little
was a little
poppy
overdone.
on the ears.
Yeah, but I have to say, if we're gonna like jump to the practical design and stuff like
Well,
that.
no, I want you guys' thoughts on the sound design and the
Oh, I
music
know. I
too.
was trying to streamline. Sorry.
It's okay,
Okay.
just real quick. Doesn't have to
you're
be a
good.
lot.
No, like the score was fine enough and everything. I will definitely agree it was a little heavy on the poppy stuff. But one thing I will at least appreciate with them is with the cut edits that they used on the certain sections of songs, because it might not be the entire song, but a certain lyrical section that will play really well into that scene.
Poignant,
And they used that very well, especially with, I think it was one of the last songs that they used.
Okay.
It was one of the couple of lines that they used that was in that song that actually resonated for the scene of what
Like,
just
I'm going to
happened.
be a villain, that one?
I think so.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, which
Like
I thought was
that,
an
yeah.
Eilish song too, and I'm not 100%.
I'm
I'm not 100% sure either, but it was, Yeah, it
sounded
was
of that
apropos
vein.
for the scene for sure.
Yeah, and so I mean, for that
Now
reason,
you can segue if you like.
well, I will just dual segue in that regard. Yeah, it definitely felt like the musical choices were geared towards the younger audience that I had anticipated this was going to want to appeal to, and so for that reason it's fine. It's not personally what I would prefer, but it makes sense, especially with the age demographic that these characters are showcasing and so on, so that's fine. So the Chucky design is so much better than we saw in Cult, like 100 friggin' times. We don't have this smushed face like silliness going down, so that was obviously a plus. And it's minuscule. At least in the first episode, we don't see a lot of Chucky being Chucky because it's laying that groundwork and stuff. But I honestly liked what our lead character kid was doing with his own design of dolls and like the mishmashing of everything. And
Yeah, the production design was cool.
Yeah, exactly. As an artist himself, this kid is cool, and he is making some really dope shit. And initially you're like, okay, yeah, he's gonna take the Chucky doll and chop it up and make it into his own thing, and then he realizes in due time that there's a little bit more going on besides that. It's not just, you know, something else you're gonna like throw another shrimp in the Barbie, so to speak. Please chime in.
No, you're totally fine. So yeah, the whole concept and everything of him, you know, his Andy Warhol thing with the doll centipede thing, whatever you want to call it.
You're less about it than I am.
No, not much, but hear me out on this. Real life, you actually
Talk.
Go over to a school friend's house and you fucking saw that in his bedroom. I don't think you'd think he was so fucking cool.
Probably not.
Like,
It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It's very horror artist.
it is, but at the same
As
time,
far as like
I'm
the
just-
red flag.
Well,
Yeah,
in
I'm
middle
just-
school,
I'm just
it's
like,
a little,
bro,
it's a
what are you
little
doing,
much, yeah.
man? Like, what are you doing, man?
It's going a bit far, but you know, to me, that's just today's version of the kids that were obsessed with Universal Monsters growing up and had all their posters all over the place. It's just
exactly.
it's
I
evolved
Kid
to
in
this point.
Kid in Monster Squad, you
Yeah.
know, Kid in Salem's Lot.
I guess.
It's evolved to this point where it's like, yeah, I can make this crazy shit. It's like us. It's just he's young.
Yeah, kind of.
So yeah,
Like
no, I
most
didn't have a
every-
problem with that. I thought effects wise that the practical Chucky we got for the most part was good, and then towards the very end you get that switch over to the CG Chucky. But honestly, it didn't look bad. It
didn't look
looked
as bad as
okay.
the previous two films.
Yeah.
The only actually issue I did have with the movie was the very end scene when he was walking. It looked a little weird.
Okay. Well, it's not going to look normal necessarily.
No, but
because they're doing more with CG than puppeteering.
I get that, and that's where I think
That's
Although
where
there
the
was
issue
major
comes
public
Puppeteering-
credits at the end as we were watching
yeah,
it. So
like-
I mean, that's cool that they're at least like
Because-
trying to maintain.
Well, there was a lot of puppeteering going on in that ventriloquist scene.
I
You're right.
can see that and everything, but I don't know. It was some of the movements and whatnot because there were better movements between at least the first three movies.
Sure, I agree with that. I think he never
Versus-
looked better than the first three movies.
Yeah, versus
I don't
like,
think they're
what we had
using-
today, like especially with all the animatronics and things we have, we could have made those movements a little bit more fluid.
I don't think they're using little people anymore though, as they.
No, they are
again,
in some parts
Oh,
later
are they?
on. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
in one of the
Okay.
trailers,
see
you can
that.
definitely see someone. It's a hallway scene, and
Yeah,
I'm
I know
sure
it's a
we'll
touchy
notice
subject.
it.
That's why I was, you know,
Well,
using
no,
the
it's- I
like
don't
the
see why
air
it's touchy. I mean,
quotations.
No, little people, they
need work
there's-
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, wherever they can get it, it's just stunt
No,
work.
no, but really,
No, it's
like,
acting
but
work.
in that's
It is.
No, it is. But no, there's definitely some scenes and everything, especially whatever action scenes or kill scenes that you would need midget or whatever you want to say. I don't know, politically correct. I don't really care right now. But
I always think of Santa Claus.
Yeah, you need people like that for some of those things. It's just gonna make it look better. It's gonna be more authentic.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, as I'm sure Cecil will reiterate here in a moment, is the fact that, dude, this laid awesome groundwork where I'm incredibly intrigued about where the hell they're going to go with all of this. And so, yes, this could have been drab and dull and blah, whatever. But, yeah, it didn't have the carnage I was expecting, but it definitely it definitely left me very excited
It built
for
up
where they're
enough
going to
for
go.
how like it wasn't necessarily slow, but it had enough detail in between to keep everything interesting and keep it going, and then obviously keep us intrigued for the other ones.
Yeah, and it
For
felt
one-
and it
minor
felt-
action here and there again, just to kind of keep us up ramped. But it was the tension.
Yeah, and it felt
Especially-
less like a pilot episode and more so like we're confident we're going to have a whole season of the show.
Absolutely.
You know,
Sure, yeah.
and
Oh,
so-
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, ultimately, at least we were all engaged with this first episode, and
Mhm,
we're all.
absolutely.
And even if you aren't involved in the series all the way up through Cult, apparently it can still capture your attention. So
Yeah, this didn't
give it a
lean
try.
that much on that previous mythology. This
Yet.
kind of stands on its own.
Not
Yes,
yet.
yeah, exactly.
we know it
it's
will
eventually going to.
but yeah, for now it's not, and that's fine. That's fine. We'll be doing ongoing coverage of this series, though they may be remotely done going forward. We'll just see how everything shakes out. But
We shall
yes,
say.
thank you guys so
Every
much for
Tuesday.
watching this episode of The Horror Show. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Chucky series. If you watched the first episode, in the comments down below while you're down there. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to click the like button and subscribe. And then until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
And gracias, Jaime, and fuego.
Thank you so much to our patrons for supporting the channel, in case I didn't mention that earlier. But remember, stay
I'm
scared.
tired.
Yeah, we all are.